Ćao svima, trka je možda stala, ali priča tek počinje. Dobrodošli u COOLDOWN 76. Ja sam Katarina.
A ja sam Sara.
I danas imamo malo drugačiju epizodu. Imamo prvog gosta sa leve strane. Mislim da mu ne treba neka velika najava.
Ne, samo kaži.
You may know him as Mr. Ahaha, currently playing for Crvena zvezda, wearing jersey number 95, Chima Moneke.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. That was a good impression of the ahaha. So we're off to a really good start.
Thank you.
It's a good start. So thank you so much for being a part of our podcast. Now, since you do have the experience with podcasts, I do have to ask you, since you're like an influencer, part-time influencer,
right.
What's the vibe like here? Do you like the setup? What can you say, like a piece of advice for us?
For me personally, I'm just like, I don't like anything to feel too formal.
Yeah.
You know, I want it to be as comfortable as possible. You know, for me, it's easy for me to talk in front of the cameras.
Obviously.
So...
Also, you're like our officially first ever guest, so congrats.
Wow, first of all, can I get a round of applause for
like
that?
a round of applause for him.
Thanks, guys.
Starting off
strong. So I do have to ask you, is this your like first podcast here on like lazy bags and stuff? You said you like chill stuff.
Yeah, I would say so. That's important for me though, but I noticed like a lot of people struggle with talking in front of cameras, and so to just make, you know, your guests as comfortable as possible is very, very important.
Well, you do seem comfortable.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm like too comfortable. I might fall asleep.
It's almost nap time.
No, the vibe is good.
Okay, no, I'm good. I'm back.
Okay, so Chima, since we're like a F1 podcast, we have to start with F1 questions.
Okay.
So how did you start following it? Who's your favorite driver, favorite team? Like, tell us.
My very first experience with F1 was during COVID, 2020, 2021. I was playing in France. It was my third year overseas. And my teammate at the time, Luke Fisher, he's like a diehard F1 fan. And he told me about Drive to Survive. And I said, what's going to be so cool about that? Like, they're just driving. Like, there's no backstory to it, right? I was completely wrong. And then from there, I was tuned in. I watched all the Drive to Survives that were out, you know, up until that point, and I was very fascinated by the different aspects of like just competition, but also like the organization and how certain teams work so hard just to get, you know, top 10, which gets them a point. And that's like make or break, you know, and then some teams obviously won't be satisfied with that, and they're going for podiums every time. And I saw the storylines, you know, learn more about a lot of the guys. Obviously, Lewis was someone that I was familiar with before, because, you know, he's the GOAT. But, you know, it was good to see. It was just good to see behind the scenes on things like that. And then since I played in Monaco, I was able to meet a few of the guys.
Oh, really?
And who did you meet?
I met Lando Norris.
Is there like a funny story or
no,
something?
he's just, I think everyone knows this about Lando. Like, he's just party animal.
Okay.
Enjoy his life.
Okay.
We have a photo together on my Instagram, and both of us were in a great place in that photo. But yeah, he was incredibly fun. All of them are very humble. Mm-hmm. Everyone I've met is just incredibly humble. The first day I got to Monaco, actually, Max Verstappen was with his trainer, and they just finished working out. And I was driving by, and I saw him, met Charles Leclerc, and a couple other guys, Kevin Rasmussen. But yeah.
Shout out to every one of them.
Hello. So since you mentioned Monaco, obviously, did you have like any famous neighbors, any F1 drivers that you like shared a coffee with in your neighborhood?
In the neighborhood, no, they lived in the very expensive ones. I was not able to live there. But they always traveling. But like, you know, like I said, a lot of guys came to our games, and seeing famous people in Monaco is literally not a big deal.
Yeah, I get it.
And I feel like there's a difference between certain famous people and depending on their jobs, in my experience. And I haven't met an F1 guy that was arrogant, you know, and all of the ones that I met that I mentioned already were completely cool. I don't know if that has to do with me playing basketball or where I met them. I don't know, but I have no bad
It's
experiences
just you.
with
Maybe
anyone
it's
I
your
met.
vibe that like gets them
I
going.
mean, maybe. I don't know, but, I gotta give
There we go.
a shout out to them because yeah, they're super humble, and I've met a lot of famous people that are horrible people.
Okay. Okay. And do you know like any other teammates or like players from other teams that also watch F1?
I feel like since the Netflix shows, came out, it became kind of cool too. Since then I've had several teammates that talk about it, that follow it, that, if we don't have a game on Sunday, they're watching the races and all things like that. But I feel like in Monaco, that's when we talked about it the most because I feel like all of the F1 drivers had a house in Monaco, so they were all right there. And several of my other teammates were, actually close friends with certain guys. So
No,
yeah.
just asking because we need another guest for a show.
Yeah, give us
From
the
this-
names, the
from this-
contacts.
From this team. From this team, it's tough. I haven't really talked about F1 too much with my current teammates, but anyone on Monaco's team, if we can get them on here. Alpha Diallo's very, very close with Lando. Dante Hall is very close with Lando. Mike James he knows everyone there. So anyone from Monaco, I can hook you up with.
Okay.
Wow, that's a
Okay.
good thing to know.
Let's keep that in our heads.
Have you seen like the latest season of Drive to Survive? There's a new one coming soon.
I did not watch it.
And I do have to ask you, since like Lando is your favorite, did you enjoy the last season?
So Lewis is my favorite.
Oh. Yeah,
Because-
but you told us like the first time we met that Lando is your
Because
first.
I've met
You're
him.
changing opinions.
Oh, wow, here we
Okay,
go. We
okay,
talking-
okay.
wow. Lewis is the GOAT.
Now
Lewis
the
was
cameras are out.
wow.
Just saying.
Here we go. Lewis is the GOAT. Lewis is the name that I knew. I knew Schumacher, I knew Senna, and then Lewis. And yeah, I relate to Lewis, and I love Lewis. A lot of black people relate to other black people that are doing incredible things. So in that aspect, when I knew nothing about F1, this
He
was a
was
guy
there.
that we looked up to, and obviously he became a 7-time world champion. Haven't got the opportunity to meet him yet, but of the people that I've met, Lando was the coolest with me, and yeah, we had a good time together. So
No, don't worry. If we get to Louis, we're going to introduce you to him.
Like one day,
get it done.
we'll
please.
remember.
Don't worry. Don't
Get
worry.
it. Maybe episode 76. Ooh, see what I did there?
Oh,
Nice.
pun intended.
Nice,
Thanks,
nice.
guys.
And how do you feel Louis like Louis and Ferrari? How does that look like to you?
For me, he's achieved everything he needs to. It's still kind of weird not seeing him with Mercedes, in my opinion. But I feel like it's kind of like with LeBron. I know this is an F1 podcast, but I feel like I look at them and Ronaldo. They're all in that early 40s. They've achieved everything. They're arguably the greatest in all of their sports. And now it's just about them doing whatever they feel like doing. And I just wish him nothing but the best, but he doesn't need my wishes.
It's interesting that you've mentioned LeBron because I did have like a question written, like asking you who's like the LeBron of Formula One.
Oh, yeah.
Tough question.
Oof. The LeBron of Formula One. I would say it is Lewis. I would say it is Lewis. Because Lewis is like a newer generation, and the comparison would be with Jordan, and older people would, never say anyone's better than Senna or better than Schumacher. So there's this nostalgia that people have with, people that they grew up on. And I'm sure with a lot of people, like going forward, Lewis will be that person where if Max continues to win or someone else comes along and wins 7 or 8, they're still going to be like, Lewis is my guy. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
LeBron has that similarities with Lewis in comparison to the guys that came before him. And for some reason, it's hard for people to pronounce LeBron as the GOAT. And everyone has their opinion, but I would say Lewis is.
No, if you ask my dad, like he's a total like Michael Jordan supporter. So I think he would not agree with you.
So honestly, I've noticed that in Serbia, like nobody thinks LeBron is the GOAT.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually crazy. Like, this is the one place where like any like LeBron post that I see, everyone's like, they just kill him. And I'm like, damn, what did LeBron do?
No, it's tough here. It's tough here.
I hear that.
Like,
I hear that.
you can experience it like yourself. Yeah, but like my question, what would you choose? Like one for F1 title with Ferrari, like historical team. Everyone knows how hard it is to win something with Ferrari. Yeah.
Okay.
Or 4 titles with Red Bull, but like you're a 4-time champion. But here you're like a legend, and here you have like
4 titles.
Yeah. Okay.
4
He was
titles.
quick with that.
4 titles for sure. I mean, it's 4. It's not like you said 4 to 3, 4 to 1. You know.
Okay, let's do it like
4.
Okay, maybe not 4. Okay, let's do it like 2 or 3.
She's switching the
I'm
numbers.
just switching it for him to say Ferrari.
I'm still picking the bigger number.
Okay.
In that aspect. But I mean, obviously, winning with Ferrari would be legendary.
You would be an absolute legend in Ferrari. Like after like so many years of no titles,
Yeah.
Chima Moneke, world champion.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a good marketing.
They would make
That
you
would
like
be
a
incredible.
statue or something.
That
They
would be
name
amazing.
but they would literally like name a street after you.
That
Italians
big,
are crazy.
Yeah.
I'm more focused on what the Serbians are going to do when we make the
Wow.
Well-
Okay. I mean, we have no problem with that. We're here.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay,
see.
okay.
I mean, it's
okay.
red. Ferrari's red. Red Star is
Ooh.
red.
I'm just
Connection.
going to say it's the same energy.
I like it. I like
Same
it.
energy.
I like it.
Okay, I gotta cut you out here with the technical question, like more technical question.
Okay.
And the answer cannot be Monaco.
Ooh.
Like, what's your favorite track?
Ooh.
That's unfair. That's unfair. I mean, the only one I've been to was Monaco in 2023.
But you've seen the
But-
Drive to Survive.
But I wouldn't pick Monaco because the most important part about Monaco is what happens on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
So
Like
ooh,
home
that's
race
a
or
good
something?
question. I feel like I like Silverstone.
Okay.
I like Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
Wonder why?
Yeah, I will stick with those two. I will stick with
Okay.
those two.
Now, like a funny question. If like you, Chima Moneke, were to form a Formula 1 team
Okay.
and you were the F1 principal,
Okay.
like 2 teammates from Red Star, you would choose to be drivers for your team.
Ooh, that one.
That I would choose to be drivers. Yago for sure. Yeah, he's a speed demon.
Okay. That's number 1. Your
he-
number 1 driver.
Yeah, Yago's definitely on there. He's probably Cody as well. They both have really nice and really fast cars, and
Okay.
they use it all
Okay.
around the roads. And I'm
Like-
sure you guys have seen them around the streets.
Maybe, maybe not. But like,
Okay.
are there like car guys? Are there more car guys in Red Star?
I heard Nedovic was the biggest car guy. Obviously, he's not on the team anymore, but I heard he's a huge car guy, and I'm a big car guy. Cody's a car guy. Yago's a car guy, obviously. Semi's also a car guy, but he's not. He's also, he's a car guy for the future. Like he has dream cars, and he knows a lot about cars and things like that. But yeah, I would say those two are the biggest car guys, along with myself.
Oh, and your favorite car?
My favorite car.
Any like dream car, or have you achieved that already?
I bought both of them this year.
Oh my
Aw.
god!
Nice. Nice.
I'm gonna shed a
Damn.
tear. Yes, but my dream car is a Porsche 911 Turbo S, and I
Okay.
got that
Okay.
convertible, and then I also got a Rolls Royce Cullinan.
Colored in.
I got the SUV Rolls Royce, but I'm not bringing that to Serbia. I'm keeping that in my
Okay.
summer house.
Okay.
I think he's still in shock how I drove him here.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But if we need a fast driver, we
Like,
picking
Katya's
you up
here?
on the team. My
No.
goodness,
Please, my parents are watching this. Like, I
Parents.
drove normally.
parents.
Yeah, speed limit queen.
My
No.
goodness.
I-
She said mom is always, on her about the brakes and all of that. Mom, I feel you. My goodness.
At least you had fun. You're awake now.
I'm alive. I was sweating a lot underneath, my hoodie, but I'm alive now.
Don't say that. Like somebody's coming for us after this. Like Red Star will sue us. Like
Right. You got to protect the assets,
Okay, now.
Okay, but
One more. I do have one more.
what?
YouTube channel. Okay. I've seen your videos.
Okay.
I saw that you have a million TVs around home. Have you seen the F1 movie? And
Oh my God.
what TV is your favorite? Which TV in your house?
Ooh. Yes, I have seen the F1 movie. Funny story.
Okay.
I watched the F1 movie when it came out,
Okay.
and I was so captivated by it. I was like, wow, this is like the best movie that I've seen in the cinema in a long time. But I don't go to the cinema anymore
Okay.
unless
why?
it's like a movie that other people say, yo, this is the one,
Okay.
right? Halfway through the movie, the fire alarm goes off. Yeah, literally, the fire alarm goes off, the screen goes blank, and then the lights come on and they're boom, boom. You got to evacuate. And I'm like,
Special effects.
I thought it was, the first few seconds I thought, okay, this is not a celebration part of the movie. Why are we stopping? But it was actually a fire alarm. Obviously, there was no fire in the building, but we had to leave, and it was late at night. It was like 11:30. So I'm like, fuck, I have to come back. But then I also said, I love that movie so much that I actually want to come back. Booked it the next day and thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Favorite TV in the house is definitely in the living room because of the couch. That couch, it's a big U-shaped couch. I'm on the right side always. Nobody else is allowed on that spot.
Okay.
I have the big blanket covering me, even if it's spring, summer, or winter. And yeah, that TV is, after this, that's the spot I'm going to. But yes, I do have a few TVs in the house.
Yeah, I've seen. I picked it up.
Yeah, also Chima, because you're a YouTuber as well. Do you have advice for us too? How can we get even better at this podcast thing?
The advice that I would give you, which was also advice I was given, is just to stay consistent. Honestly, stay consistent and don't get discouraged by if one video or one podcast doesn't do as well as you want it to. If it's doing something, then that means someone out there in the world is choosing to listen to that, which is incredible because, especially in 2026, there's so many things that people could listen to. If someone is choosing to click on your video or listen to your podcast, that's a blessing in itself. So the more consistent you are, the more YouTube will also reward you, and they will put your stuff out there. And then learn who you are, learn the comfort zones when you're speaking to people, your guests and all of that. Learn what image you want to put out there to the world and have fun with it. And you can take, with YouTube especially, you can take it wherever you want to with consistency and bright ideas.
That's actually pretty good.
Next guest, LeBron James.
I mean,
but yeah,
set us up.
Also, we have to say this, make sure to follow Chima here, and here.
Wow, they watched the channel. Love it.
We had a practice session, so we had to be prepared.
Okay,
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Hold on, can I ask a question?
of course.
No, you cannot.
What's your favorite episode of mine or favorite YouTube video that I've dropped?
I like the one where you just moved to Serbia.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a breakthrough video.
Yeah, the new beginning.
Okay.
That's nice. You can see how it was 6 months ago or something.
Yeah.
And you can see your joy
The
of
energy.
being the energy.
I mean,
Okay.
that's
It's
why
not
the
like
Serbian people like you. You have this energy that's positive and beaming with joy, actually.
Means a
So
lot.
I enjoyed it as well. I picked it up a little bit later. I haven't seen it when it came out. So I was new to the hype. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So
Thank you guys. I
keep up
appreciate
with
it.
the good stuff.
I'm trying. I'm not as consistent as I want to be, but I'm doing what I can.
I mean,
No,
be
it's good.
consistent with basketball, and that's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed, help me out, guys. Trying to get
Here,
the
and here.
No, we already did that, but now we can be just all love.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have to focus on EuroLeague. Just saying priorities.
1,000%.
Keep your priorities straight.
Okay.
I'm locked in.
I think it's time for our like game
Next
session.
segment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We prepared. Whoops.
Sorry
Dibo
about
izvini. We prepared a game for
Okay.
you. It's called like speed questions.
Oh gosh. No,
I'm
please.
going-
Wake up.
No, I'm going to read you like 2 options, and you have like 5 seconds to choose one of them. But we need your bell. I don't know where it is right now.
Yeah, the bell
Because-
disappeared for a moment.
Yeah. Technical problems.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Where's the bell, guys?
We
Come
need the bell.
on. Oh,
there you go.
Okay,
thanks.
no, you
You
have
can
to.
keep
No,
it.
it's
Yeah.
for you guys. You guys I gotta be focusing on the bell and
No,
then the
yes,
question.
you have to.
No,
Yeah.
come
You have
on.
like 5
I'm already
seconds.
nervous right now.
Here you go.
No,
Like
it's
before you
it's
answer.
That's you.
Is it working? Is it working?
It's working.
Okay, first question. Game winner.
Sorry, I was just making sure it's
You're
working.
having fun. That's okay.
Just making sure it's working.
Okay,
All right, go ahead.
focus. Game winner or game winning defensive play? 5, 4, 3, 2.
Game winner. Game winning defensive play.
No,
I've
like-
had a game winning defensive play and I blocked a shot. I blocked a dunk at the end of the game and it felt very, very rewarding. Because that's not as common as game winner.
Boom.
Thank
It's
you.
working.
Okay, ćevapi or pljeskavica?
Chavapi, easy.
Most famous person in your contacts?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I need more than
3,
5 seconds.
2, 1.
The clock restarts again, right? Ooh, most famous.
Tick tock, tick tock.
No, I think we don't need like
Novak.
5
Oh,
seconds.
no. Novak?
Katarina.
Novak?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Novak. Novak Djokovic or Mo Salah?
Mo Salah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mo Salah.
yeah.
Cheers to
I met Mo Salah in Mykonos last summer.
Nice.
And he said he's going to come to a Red Star game. I've been asking him. I know his schedule's busy. Mo, we need you.
no,
True story.
my whole family is like living for Liverpool, so
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay,
Shout
I
out to
feel
Mo
like an
Salah.
outcast
Like-
here, but that's okay. I'm a Spurs fan.
No, like
Spurs?
in my family, if you
Yikes.
don't like love Liverpool or Red Star,
Mm.
I have no place to live. So
Gotcha.
I had no
Sticking with
choice.
red theme, that's okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, vlogging or podcast?
Vlogging.
Blondes or brunettes?
Brunettes.
TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Favorite Zvezda song?
The main one, obviously. The main one. Oh, but I can't say the other team's name because.
Okay, it's okay. Please don't cancel us.
All right.
Worst dressed teammate?
Worst dressed teammate? Worst dressed, the one that cares the least, probably Demo. The
Oh.
best dressed teammate, I'll give him a shout out because Cody has been killing it this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cody. I'm
Yeah.
shout
As if
outing.
he's watching this.
Yeah, he has to. Make sure you're watching this.
Okay. DJ in the locker room.
Me.
Nice. Okay, and the last question is no Wi-Fi or no music for 1 week?
Next question.
Okay, so
Whew.
that was it from our speed questions.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sweating right now.
Okay, take a breather. It's fine.
Just relax.
Yeah, chill vibes over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're going a like little more serious part. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay,
Over here it says fun is over. Time for deep questions.
Ooh, okay.
that's
Question
it.
number 1.
Mm.
What advice would you give out to people who want to achieve something big but have a difficult journey?
Achieving something big will and should never be easy. Like, it's supposed to be hard. And it could be whatever you're talking about, whether it's like a physical journey, whether it's overcoming fears, whether it's a financial thing, whether it's whatever it could be. It's not supposed to be easy, so you start there. And then the advice is to train your mental because you're as powerful as you believe you are. And most great people believe they're great before other people catch on. You know, a lot of time, it's cool to say, oh, Drake makes good music now. It's cool to say Lewis Hamilton is the greatest, but you have to envision who you want to be, and then the rest of the world will catch on, and you act like it before you are, but also humbly. You work like it. And then when everything starts to happen, it's easier for you to deal with it because you've already envisioned it. And just, prepare for good times, prepare for bad times, and embrace it all.
You're really good at this. Have you ever thought about changing careers, maybe to like philosophy or something?
I have pondered upon that thoughts once or twice in my life, but I'm gonna stick to basketball for now.
Okay.
I'm 30 years old. I got some time left.
Number 2, is there a specific rule or a ritual you do to stay focused?
No.
Ooh.
Not at all.
Straight
actually.
up no.
No, I'm not. Normally, I just need a nap, especially on game days. That's the only thing I need. I feel like for me, I've always been like this, but if you have something where you tell your mind, I need to do this in order to play well or to stay focused or whatever, there's going to be a time when that doesn't happen. Now, you're going to let your mind freak out and just say, I can't. No. The easiest thing is like repetition. And for me as a basketball player, you have to trust your work. You have to trust the hard work you put in, and, believe in yourself and believe in what you've done before you got in that moment. I know some people, they play well in one pair of shoes and they want to wear that same pair of shoes forever. Or they wear their hair a certain type of way, and I don't believe in none of that. So
what motivates you when there are no cameras, no fans, no audience, like no applause?
I have so many goals in my life, for my life after basketball, that I still need to achieve. The only goal that I've set, when I was a kid, that I haven't achieved yet is playing in the Olympics. So that's the only thing that I haven't done. I've already made it way further than normally people in my position would have made it. So I'm grateful. And I felt that way at, 26 when I got to the NBA. So now I just there's a certain type of lifestyle I want to live when I'm done playing, when I have kids, things like that. I want to have a certain level of comfort, and just, I don't want to do a job that I have to do because I need money. No, I want to take care of everything I'm doing now, investing in myself, investing in my future through real estate, through various other businesses, to set up my life after, because if and when I bring kids into this world, I want them to be good.
Wow. So you have a retirement plan all planned out?
Yeah. I started a few years ago, and this year, like I mentioned earlier with the cars, this is the first time that I did something for myself.
Yeah, you splashed out on yourself.
Yeah, I deserve that. So no more cars until I retire.
Self-love only.
I hope.
There's no need to retire yet. You're young.
Yeah, you're saying it like you're dead.
You're not ancient,
No, you guys don't understand what some days walking up the stairs is a challenge.
Yeah, but man, it's like how you feel inside, not like the numbers don't matter.
It's not about the numbers, it's about the feeling. And every athlete I don't even care what sport it is. Every day waking up and putting your body through certain things, certain days you just wake up with pain and you don't know where or how it happened. And, as I'm getting older, things like my metabolism isn't as fast. My digestion is slower. So I need to eat differently and eat less I need to sleep more and do all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, you can feel the age coming, even though I'm 30. People say it's the prime of my life. But, yeah, I feel I can't play for 20 years.
So what's the biggest lesson that sport has given you?
You can't do anything by yourself.
You need sport.
Can't do anything by yourself, no matter what. No matter who you are, there's no sport. I don't even care if it's golf or if it's tennis. You can't do anything by yourself, in team sports, obviously you have your coach, you have your general manager, you have your teammates. Yeah, but if you're not playing against anyone else, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think like the biggest difference is in tennis, because in tennis you're like all alone. Like you have your team, your coach and everything, but it's a little bit different. Like in basketball you have your whole team, and
Right.
like in some points like you can play very bad and your team wins.
Right.
And in tennis, if you play like bad, you lose.
Yeah, but what if your opponent plays worse? And what if your opponent didn't exist? Who are you playing against? So that's how I look at it with tennis. You know, I think about, like, we watch great matches. Now we're in the Alcaraz and Sinner era, and we're in, obviously, Djokovic is still
playing.
incredible. But when Alcaraz retires, he's going to speak about how Sinner pushed him and vice versa. We talk about Djokovic with Nadal and Federer. These guys bring each other up because these people made them better.
No, of course.
So
of course.
even in single person sports, you need someone else. And like the moments of tears, whether it's in a single person sport or a team sport, is because of who you had to overcome. So that's why I think of it like, yeah, you need other people to make your story better and to make the feeling. Because if Djokovic is playing against someone that's just not good the whole time, he's not really getting better, and certain championships that he's won wouldn't make him feel, you know, that special. But I'm sure he has memories of certain titles where he came down from 2 matches down, and this guy brought out something in him that makes him cherish that moment. So that's how I look at all these things.
The mental strength in tennis, like there's only you in that point. You know what I'm saying?
You think that's harder?
Yeah, like I'm not saying it's harder.
I don't
like
think it's harder though.
No, I'm not a professional athlete. Like I trained tennis, but I'm not a professional tennis player. But I'm just saying, like when you're playing basketball, like you have, I don't know, like it's different because you have a team and you have someone you can rely on. Sometimes
Okay,
if
check
you
this out.
But maybe you're letting down your like teammates by
What
doing that.
what about this? You have a team, you also have a coach. And you've worked all your life to get to a situation, and now you have a coach that doesn't believe in you. You don't think that messes with your mental?
Well, that means that, okay, I'm not going to say this.
When I said these were the deep questions, I didn't expect them to go this
This is
No,
great.
But
this is
I love
deep,
how
like-
well
This is
spoken
great.
you are with this.
1000%.
Like I am fairly enjoying it actually.
This is real though. Like to me, I've learned the hardest mental battles that I've had to deal with were because of other people, because of certain things, because of things out of my control, and then I had to like learn how to react the right way, and I'm still learning to. But every team sport athlete has dealt with a situation where a coach didn't like them, or they weren't being given them, because you have to share minutes. So you're gonna have to you're struggling with that. This guy thinks he's better than this guy. This guy thinks in this situation he can help more, but the coach doesn't see it that way. Now you have your family complaining in your ear every time a game is done, saying, I don't know why that coach isn't playing you, blah, blah, blah. And then now you have to be like, but then you still got to go and train, and then now you're still not playing. These things happen. In tennis, who can you blame? So that's why it's not.
No, but the same point,
it
like
can be
you
harder.
can blame yourself at basketball because your coach is not believing you in you.
You believe that's how it works?
No, I'm not saying how it works. I'm just saying like how I feel when I look at that.
Well, it doesn't. Coaches have to make a decision. You know, people have to make decisions, and there's 12 people on the active roster.
But you have to prove yourself.
So you think the people that don't play didn't prove themselves? There's 12 people on the active roster. 5 people can be on the court at the same time. You think, and a human being has to make a decision
I'm just
on
saying
who that particular human being feels has proved himself. But
we just say that perhaps that in this age, like since you said you're 30, we just say that like you're more self-aware of your value and you're stronger mentally than you were before.
yeah, for sure. But it's because I'm a human being. Like it's never going to get to the point where I react how everyone wants me to react, or I'm like, oh, that doesn't bother me. No, it's you still learn, but as you get older and you've proven yourself more, you still have an expectation of how to be treated. You know, you can't treat Lewis Hamilton at 40 the way you treated Lewis Hamilton at 23.
Obviously.
That's a part of it. Like, that's a part of everything. You have other people have certain expectations for Lewis because we've seen that he's a champion multiple times. Those expectations weren't there before he played, before he won his first title. So all of that matters. It's not about being scared. Everything leads to everything combines when you talk about mental health, and then you're doing everything you can. You're in training. You're playing really hard. You're taking care of your body, and then the coach doesn't believe in you.
Would you say that, as in 2026, that mental health is more talked about than it used to be before in sports?
Oh, 1,000%.
Is that I'm not going to say a glow up, but are we progressing with it? Or do you have higher hopes for younger players?
Yeah, I feel like it's the age of transparency and people speaking up and defending themselves. And yeah, maybe even 20 years ago it wasn't like that in Europe, where coaches just did whatever they wanted and, you know, there were no repercussions. It was, this is how it goes. This is how I talk to every player. Nah, you need to understand that this guy's an introvert. This guy has anxiety. This guy has this. This guy likes when you shout at him. This guy, you need to pull him in and talk to him like a son. All of that matters now, and it's not just about being good at coaching basketball. You need to be able to manage men.
Being good at understanding people.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Like other personalities.
100%. All of that matters. You know, if you want to deal with human beings, you need to understand how to get the best out of certain people, and it's not the same way that it is for me that it would be for you. But a good thing that teams are doing is teams have team psychologists, and we have one, and she's great, and it helps. It definitely helps.
I think before we continue with our questions, we have one special question from one of your biggest fans out here. He said that he says that he's going to every single game, Euroleague, Upper League, whatever. Okay. So
wherever you go, he goes.
Yeah. So I know that he would appreciate this a lot. So Debo.
Chima, what's up, my guy? Yeah, I know. I see you over there doing the podcast. Yeah, I see you. All right. I got a question for you. What would the 10-year-old Chima say about you today? And what would you say to the 10-year-old Chima today? The fans want to know. Tell me. I want to hear. Make sure you let me know the answer too. All right, that's my question for you. Answer that for me. All right.
Shout out to Jared Butler. He's definitely at every game.
Shout out to Jared for filming this for us.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a late call, but appreciate that. And also, if you want to see Jared as well, or
comment down below.
Just comment down below.
Yeah,
and convert him to F1. Obviously, he has to watch F1.
No, but he said he said to me that he doesn't follow F1, so we have to get him into F1, and then he can come.
Yeah. Good luck with that part.
I'll leave that to you.
Okay, that's honestly, I know Jared's funny, but that's a great question. But it's interesting because 10-year-old Chima didn't even want to be a basketball player.
Seriously?
So I will switch it to 13-year-old Chima because that's when I started playing basketball. That's when I had the dream of becoming a basketball player. But, wow, 2009, I was 13. I picked up a basketball for the first time, and all the people around me are in the basketball community. They how do I describe it? They put me down for having big goals. They, Canberra, Australia is where I grew up. That's where I was at the time. The only person to make it to the NBA from Canberra is Patty Mills, who played, for the Spurs, won a title. So he's kind of looked at it okay, this is a special person. No one else can be Patty Mills. That's how most people looked at it. Okay, don't dream to be bigger than Patty Mills. Maybe you can get to college on a full scholarship, but that's it. So people literally were so offended when I was no, fuck that. I'm going to play in the NBA. I'm going to play in America. And at the time, I wasn't good. You know, I started playing in 2009. So in 2010 and 11, like, I was very raw, but I always believed that I had something, and it just rubbed people the wrong way because I was so outspoken and, like, confident and emotional and energetic, and it just rubbed people the wrong way. So there was so many days where it was like, man, I have to prove everyone wrong. I have to prove everyone wrong. I have no choice but to prove everyone wrong, which created a lot of, like, resentment whenever I played. I was always emotional. I felt like every bad game that I played was the end of the world, and every good game that I played meant that, like, I was going to do it and I was, you know, on the way. But there was also so many periods where it just looked like it wasn't realistic. I was emailing hundreds of schools, and two schools responded, and it came down to, like, a stroke of luck where this guy saw me play and gave me a scholarship to a junior college in Nebraska. And then from there, it's like, I knew that that would be the hardest part of my journey, just get into America. I said I would take care of everything else after that, and the rest is history. So what 30-year-old Chima would say to 13-year-old Chima is, everything that you dreamed of doing, you did. And you're not crazy for being delusional and thinking you're going to go play in America and play in the NBA and get a full scholarship and play basketball professionally. Like, you weren't crazy. You know, every workout that you did mattered. Every time you had asked someone to record you playing basketball so you can make a YouTube highlight, all of that mattered. Every time you got upset, every time you were happy, all of that led to you being here in this moment, and you're living a very, very incredible life. So keep doing what you're doing, 13-year-old Chima.
That was nice.
That was actually really
nice.
pretty.
Thank you, thank you.
Like, once you look back at your, like, footsteps all the way to Canberra, like, do you have some sense of pride? Like, are you, like, in your face, I did it? Like, or are you, like, more mentally, like, stable in your head and, like, okay, I'm chill, I have no one to prove myself to? Is that, like, more like a balance?
Yeah, I think earlier on, everything was about, yeah, I did it. Fuck you guys, respectfully. Early on, like, when I got to college, and then we went to March Madness, which is, like, the biggest thing you can do in college. I did that. I was the MVP of the conference tournament that led us there. I was on TV. They were watching us. I played for Nigeria, and I was playing against, like, the best players in the NBA, and we beat Team USA. And then I got to the NBA, and all of those things were like, see, everyone's talking about me over there. All my brothers are, like, telling me, yo, remember this guy from back then? He's saying that he's so proud of you. And I'm like, that guy wasn't proud of me. That guy was one of the people that was talking shit. So that was, like, the mood that I had up until, I would say, when I came back from the NBA, it was like, wow, I've done so much. I've achieved so much. Like, life is great. And now it's more about just trying to enjoy it as much as I can. I already know I've overachieved for, like, where I was. Realistically, most people, like, would have fell off or got injured at some point, or something wouldn't have gone right. So I know that I've done a lot. But my brothers do a good job of, and my family does a good job of, like, telling me, you know, what I've done and how proud of myself I should be. So, yeah, I think when I retire, though, that's when I'll be able to fully understand everything I did.
Nice. No, I have no words.
Katya. Wow. Actually, like, that was really nice, because a lot of basketball players, as I heard, had, like, a similar situation when they were, like, in their teenage years. Like, they were all over the place in their head. Like, one game they were raging. They couldn't, like, put themselves together because in their head they weren't, like, in peace. And once they, like, got to a certain age where they started, like, critically thinking about themselves and not, like, running for every single ball and everything, they actually achieved much more. So would you say that when you're, like, younger, you cannot actually compete at a higher level because you're not fully developed as a player in your head? Or, like, what does the age matter?
No, I don't look at it like that. I look at it like I put so much pressure on myself because I started basketball when I was 13. Before that, I was playing football. I wanted to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo. I wanted to be the next JJ Okocha. I wanted to be a football player, so I was already so far behind compared to everyone else I was playing with and playing against. Majority of people that play sports, they start before they can remember. You know, they're dribbling a ball because their parents put a basketball or football. You know, their parents put them in like all these situations to play several sports and then pick the one that they naturally gravitate to. So like everyone that was on my team, they had played basketball since they were tiny. They had some connection to basketball. I had no connection to it. You know, I put all this pressure on myself because my parents at the time were like, they just cared about education. Just make sure you get your education. I didn't live with them then. They were in Switzerland and they moved back to Nigeria. So I was free to do like, you know, what I wanted to do. And I just told them like, this is my goal. I want to play basketball. They said, okay, cool. As long as you get your education. So I said, it's perfect because I'll get a scholarship. You guys won't have to pay for my school. And they, you know, that's when they were like, okay, cool. But when I have kids, obviously I'm not going to push them to play basketball, but I wouldn't like them to like start late. I will definitely give them the options of basketball or football or tennis or whatever. But I want them to grow into like doing something that by the time they're 13, they're like, this is natural. And then it's just about the developing part of it and everything like that. But for me, it wasn't about putting pressure on myself because I was younger. It was putting pressure on myself because I didn't have a plan B anymore.
Okay, and what would be like your first memory with a basketball? Like, do you have a special memory that reminds you like of childhood?
Yeah, like the first memory I have was I just got to the school that I was at, and my friends were like, why don't you play basketball? Like, you're the tallest one in the group. And I'm like, I just watch it because of LeBron and all of this stuff. And they say, no, you should try it. I asked my oldest brother who I was living with at the time, I asked him to buy me a pair of basketball shoes. And he bought me like the most generic basketball shoes, like 60 Australian dollars or something like that. And I didn't know nothing. Like I wore those basketball shoes on the bus. I wore them outdoors, and like I walked onto the court and I just played. Like I didn't have slides. I didn't have other shoes. It was like, these are basketball shoes, so I'm going to wear it on the court. And I remember I made a couple calls and I found out about a team at the local competition was starting in like the next few weeks, and I signed up for the team called the Ginninderra Rats. I was a rat.
They still exist?
Yeah, they still exist in Canberra. The Ginninderra Rats. So like I signed up for an under-16s team that was in 3rd division, and yeah, I was horrible, but we won the title. It was a very, very low level, but that's like my first memory of playing, you know, in 2009. And after that season, I went up to 1st division with my age group, and the next year I represented my state at the national tournament.
Crazy.
You started to compare yourself, like you wanted to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron, whatever you said, whichever name you said.
Yeah.
But is it healthy to compare yourself to like higher athletes? Because every single person is unique in a way. Just like there is no next Cristiano Ronaldo, just like that, there is no next Chima Moneke. You're both unique in your own way, and like unique players with unique player style, like personalities, everything. Like, is it healthy to compare yourself, especially as a young player?
No, I wasn't comparing myself. Those are the people I looked up to. So they would do something and I'd want to do it as well because they inspired me. I think growing up, now that I'm a professional athlete, I don't compare myself to nobody. I don't like say, oh, I want to play like him. I am who I am, and I learn from other people in other ways, but I don't compare myself to anyone in terms of play style. I look at people in terms of like where they're playing and, you know, what type of contract they've signed or how they're performing and with their team and how they get treated, how many minutes they play, like things like that as a healthy competition among like, you know, the best people at your position. But No, I don't try to play like anyone else. And as a kid, yeah, obviously it's not realistic to be the next Ronaldo. But if he inspires you, you know, I'm sure there's so many people that would never have played football if Ronaldo didn't exist, or LeBron, or, you know, vice versa.
Maybe some kid in Serbia decided to play basketball because of you.
I've received messages like that.
Well, we have a special message from today, so maybe you inspired him.
He started. That was a good one.
Okay, I think there's one more question for you, back like to the child days. What childish habit or memory is still dear to you and makes you laugh when you remember it?
Childish memory.
We're bringing out only the good vibes.
I would say, as a kid, I thought my parents like knew everything. So like I believed everything that they would say. And Nigerian parents especially are very like dramatic.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, I have some good stories. Like there's certain things that they would say and then it would come with like a threat of like something would happen if you didn't do this or if you did do this. And like the two examples that come into my brain as a kid, like my parents would always say, don't swallow like the seeds of fruits or else you're going to wake up and turn into a banana or apple or something like that. So like I never swallowed, you know, fruit seeds just because of them. And I was so like gullible. I literally thought that I would turn into a watermelon if I swallowed some fruit seeds, or like covering my head with the blanket. I would suffocate to death. Like certain things like that they would say. And as a kid, I was just so like afraid, and I was like, no, I need to do this. I can't do this. And I thought adults were very like, they had their life, you know, figured out at 24. So as a kid, I was like, okay, when I'm 24, I'm going to be married with kids, you know, things like that.
Now you're 30.
And now I'm 30, single, no kids.
But you achieved a lot more things than you thought you were going to.
Yeah, I achieved way more things than I thought I would. But the other part is like, I still feel like I'm 18 in some ways. I still feel like a kid in some way. I look at myself and I'm like, I enjoy life. I'm not as strict as I thought adults would be.
But do you still like not eat the seeds?
Oh no, I swallow seeds for sure. And I haven't turned into a watermelon yet, so
he's
I'm
not
good.
scared anymore.
I'm not
He's
scared.
not scared
I'm not
anymore.
scared.
So Chima, I told you I'm a designer as well.
Okay.
And I designed a special T-shirt for you, like
Wow.
because you came here as our first ever guest. So
There's a special design for you.
Oh wow.
Kachi is really proud of it.
Where
I'm honored. Oh, I see the
Perfect.
design already. Oh, what? Wow.
I mean, we
Mr.
hope the size is okay.
yeah, like you're.
Whoa.
It was said to me that you wear XL. I don't know if it suits you, but I think it's going to be fine.
This is actually unreal.
I am glad you like it.
This
She's
is
actually-
actually unreal.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You have there also Team Dog, because
Yeah, it's the
Holy
details.
cow.
we know you love your nicknames.
Oh my God, with 3 G's too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said that when you first met, like 3 Gs. You have to do that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is one of the. How did you do this?
Well,
You can't give away your secrets, or
no, I'm
When
not
you
telling
said
you
it's good
anything.
to have your education.
Just please let me know if it fits you, because I don't know if you wear that size.
it's gonna fit.
I mean,
And
keep
I'm
it
gonna
next to
wear it.
your like favorite TV.
Yeah.
No, I'm wearing this. I'm
Okay.
wearing this for sure. I'm probably wearing it at my next game.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
This is
I'm
incredible.
glad that you like it.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
You're welcome.
High five for that.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Incredible.
We are wrapping this up, right?
We don't really have an outro, so yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something on Serbia?
Can we make one? Can we make an outro?
Yeah, we need an outro. Like, we still don't have it. Like, I can say I had a good time. Did you had a
I
good
mean,
time?
I also had a splendid time. It's up to you.
No. This is another part, another
Okay.
advice.
Teach us.
Okay.
Master.
Okay.
Something that comes natural, but you need to say it every time.
Yeah. Like, we have the intro. Like, I'm always saying
Like the
2
thing.
sentences that
Yeah.
didn't really said it like good at the first episode, but yeah.
We practiced.
Maybe you can say, okay, we've just finished the 76th lap of this episode. Blah, blah, blah.
Wow, okay.
It's just too easy for me.
whoa,
Honestly,
whoa,
you guys
whoa,
can
whoa,
keep
whoa,
Wow,
it.
you're
whoa.
natural at
Like,
this.
it's just,
Okay.
you guys can keep it. Like,
Okay, wait. So we can
because
say
this
like
is
I mean,
cool
we
down
can-
76.
It's
Cool
cool
down
down
76.
76. We are on
We've-
lap
We've
77
just
by
reached-
now.
no, I'm still. I see the checkered flag very soon.
Okay.
But we're not at 77.
Okay.
So I would say, like, when you're finishing, say, we've reached the 76th lap.
lights out.
It's lights
Ooh,
out and
it's
away we
lights
go.
out.
Lights
but
out.
But we're
But
finishing.
We're finishing.
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up the 76th lap of the Cool Down 76 podcast. Keep watching. Maybe another guest coming soon. LeBron, maybe, if you set us up.
We have too many guests, like a guest list. But also, Chima, do you want to say something on Serbian for our fans?
I just want to say, kako si, odlično, and
No, you have to say like goodbye. Because we're
You asked if I want to say something, and I say what I want
But
to
you
say.
have to
Now you're
say
bullying
something.
me to say something that I don't want to say. Like, you just.
You're a
no,
good
I'm
guy.
just saying you have to say
Now
something.
I'm not odlično.
Oh, Baka.
Well, we're ending this on a rather sad note. Please do come. Do not hesitate to be our
Yeah.
guest on the next podcast. He is odlično. He's just pretending. So, see you guys next time.
Aha ha.
Bye.